Oh, mayo.
Do you not like mayo?
No, I like mayo.
Oh.
For all you mad bastards loving the Big Show podcast, get up even closer on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, or raw dog it 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hauraki.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I reckon, man.
I listened to one of our podcasts today coming into work.
It's a bit self-indulgent.
Well, I never do it.
I never do either, but I have lately.
Yeah, just to, you
I
get
used
a
to
gauge.
listen all the time.
Yeah.
Like the outro or the best of the...
No, it was just an outro.
Yeah, the outro.
Which one was it?
I can't even remember. It was crapping on about something.
I was at the gym and some guy had just been listening to it. He's like, I've just been listening to your podcast.
Yeah.
Really?
Do you find that quite off-putting?
No. What I find weird is that people are listening to it at a different time. Like someone's listening to this right now and it's not today.
Yeah.
They could be listening to this in 6 months' time. And
Yes.
then someone will often say something like, oh, whatever happened to blah, blah, like referencing something off the podcast.
Yes,
and I'm like,
you go,
I
I have no idea,
idea.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's the weird thing.
That's weird.
But yeah, no, it's because I've never been a big fan of listening to myself anyway. So it was quite a random
the
thing to
club.
do. And as I say, it keeps popping up on YouTube now, which I watch a lot of, seeing our outros, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Who do you reckon would have the most boring algorithm on YouTube, me or Jace?
Well, yours
Well,
is just all
Jace is going to
buzzies.
be inundated with American politics and some pretty horrendous human beings, I'd imagine, as
Yes,
well.
that's fair.
So I wouldn't be into that. And you would be, what would you be? Cars, which I couldn't care less about. I mean, everybody's got, it's not that it's boring.
No, it's
but
just,
it's your thing.
So mine's currently all just video games and motorbikes.
I wouldn't even have an algorithm, I don't think. It'll be music. It's only music I watch on there.
For me, it's American politics. It's
Buzzies.
village cooking.
Village cooking. What is
Yeah.
that?
Just
I like the sound of that.
These Indian fellas
Oh,
that cook
God.
Oh, is it?
Well, they're Indian, so I think we're allowed that.
Yeah. Who basically cook these massive curries for their entire village.
Wow.
Which
That sounds good.
I don't know why I enjoy it. I just do.
That sounds
and
great.
also mukbang, eating people.
That's just people eating a shitload, isn't it? It's Korean.
And one of the things that really bugs me is hearing people eat.
Yeah,
Does it
right.
bug
And
you?
yet these videos are people that
Not in the pot.
are people that literally just sit there sucking and chewing on food. And I don't know why I find that intriguing.
That's disgusting.
It kind of is disgusting, but I find myself watching it. Pugsan got me onto it.
So like you're
What are they doing? They're just eating a
They
lot.
just eat a shitload of food.
Usually it's just like
Not too much time on your
like
hands,
a
man.
feast of, yeah, but I don't really do Instagram and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of when I'm just tripping out.
True, yeah. No, I certainly fuck around enough like that.
So when you sit down to eat, do you eat? Oh, you don't even eat lunch, do you? You barely
Well,
eat.
yeah, generally I eat lunch.
Oh, okay.
I
What do
don't
you
eat
have
bre-
today?
Well, today was hard because we had no power, and I kept going,
Did you do a little village eats?
no, I went and got a pie from the bakery.
What flavour?
What flavour did you go with?
Bacon and egg.
That's
Did
pretty
they
good,
have
actually.
the whisked up egg, or was it whole yolks in there?
Whole.
Yeah.
gross.
It's a shame.
I
hate it.
prefer it that way, actually.
How much did you pay for that pie? $8?
$6.
$6?
West Auckland, Mogi.
Right?
She's
Oh,
a bit
West
cheaper,
Auckland,
you know.
yeah.
She's very cheap out our way.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But it was a good pie, actually. I think they've changed owners and the pies have improved.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you ever sit down, eat lunch, and watch something on YouTube? Because I do that pretty much every day I'm home.
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. What would you put on? Would it be American politics chat?
Yes. Most of my viewing is American politics.
God.
Midas Touch Network.
But doesn't it make you angry listening to it all?
Yes.
So why do you?
Because it's good to be informed of something that's going on that's going to affect everyone.
Not really, because you've got no control over it. So all you get is anxious about something which, because I used to follow it so intent, like especially about 25 years ago, all around the climate stuff, around when Michael Moore was doing all his bowling
Yes.
for Columbine and all of those. And I used to get so fucking fired up about it. Me and my dad would have big yarns about it.
Yes.
And then I just sort of realised, well, you can't do anything about it. It doesn't really matter massively who wins and who loses because the money is controlling what happens anyway, not really the individuals. And so you just get stressed out.
Yeah, no, I don't. I find it fascinating, the the march into fascism that's happening. I find it because it's history repeating itself, and I'm fascinated by the gaslighting and the lying.
But it is stressful, isn't it? You're not watching it. You're not watching it from above and emotionally removed from it. You're getting emotionally involved in it, and it affects you.
Well, I watch it and go, ugh, and then I carry on.
This is actually, what's it called when you get your mates together in a room and we all chat to you about something you need to stop doing?
It's an intervention.
Intervention. yeah.
The Hauraki Big Show, weekdays from 4 on Radio Hauraki. The Hauraki Big Show podcast.
No, but I think people do get caught, not just with politics, but with everything, caught in their bubbles of stuff that they do.
I saw a good thing, actually, an interesting thing. See what you think about this, Jace. And Keezy.
No, just Jace. It's
No,
fine.
well, we were just talking, so I said his name. But you're always welcome to chat here, Keezy. This is your show too.
Yeah, man.
I saw a
hairdo.
thing about women's liberation,
Yes.
and I guess it's a conspiracy theory, really. You're never going to know, are you? But the idea that the Rockefeller family was behind it and they funded the women's liberation movement because what they wanted to be able to do was, the problem with having only men work is you've got half the population working, but half the population isn't working. So when half the population isn't working, there's not enough competition for jobs. So if you can get all the women into work as well, then there's more competition for the work, which means how much you pay people will come down, and it also gives you an opportunity to tax the other half of the population.
Sure.
It also means that you are able to get children into daycare earlier, into school earlier, so they'll go, instead of 5 or 6 years old being in school and having those first 6 years of their lives with their family, and particularly the mother, they will now be in daycare from 6 months, as they are in New Zealand, or 1 year. So they start, it's the disintegration of the family unit.
Sure.
Because the kids now are spending actually more time with teachers than they are with their own parents. And so it's difficult to maintain a respect and a level of order within the family unit when it's so disrupted, and those children spend most of their time with somebody else.
And it's Rockefeller's fault. The family.
That's right. And they were also the ones that were responsible for setting up the way that teaching was done in schools, so that in essence the education is set up to create workers.
Right.
You want people that can go directly from school and being told what to do to directly into factories being told what to do. So when you're in school, creativity is not encouraged at all. Arts are not encouraged at all. They want you to be worker bees. And that was Rockefeller who funded all of that.
Right.
A cog
Are they
in the
that
wheel.
forward thinking though? I feel like
Yeah.
one thing with this sort of thing is the people who are alive back then are just they don't give a shit really about the future. They just want to make sure they leave as big of a legacy. But I feel like they wouldn't be as forward thinking as like in 200 years or whatever this is going to be, you know.
Well, you think about how forward thinking a Bill Gates is, or people that understand what can happen with computers or with, think about Bitcoin, like just the basic thing around currency, what can be done, because there's people that aren't like us that think on a completely different level, that are forward thinking. And
Right.
think, like, actually, how can I make all of this work in my favour so I can get really, really, really rich, or be
Right.
the richest and have the most power? It's interesting stuff.
It is interesting
And
stuff.
the thing about all of that stuff is, like, I read that and I go, man, that's interesting. But I also, and it's probably true, but what the fuck am I going to do about it?
yeah.
I'm so like not anything I listen to is always like comedy based or rugby league, and I watch the news.
Yeah.
So like I watch the sports news, I watch a wee bit of the regular news, and that's it.
I don't think I've watched the news for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I like watching the news.
I used to all the time, and now I'm like, nah.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're always here, aren't we, fellas? We're always here doing the radio.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Well, I watch it on demand. I haven't watched linear news in a long time.
Yeah.
That's part of it, but
That's
news
such
is
a good point.
pretty tedious.
I was like, why haven't I watched more? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're not here.
Yeah.
But it is interesting.
It is.
And it's always good to
And probably all bullshit, who knows?
it's good to, in your own self, be aware of your own little bubbles and your
Yeah.
own little habits that you get into.
Well, definitely for us, like having a kid, it's like, well, I don't want my kid. If my kid can read and write and count and has a basic understanding of science, outside of that, I just want to do art and create.
Yeah, man.
I'm not interested in her I remember what it was like to be at school and be just buried under all this information that I did not give a fuck about.
Algebra, calculus.
And yet science, society says, oh no, you've got to care about that stuff. It's like absolutely... You
No,
don't.
thanks.
You don't, unless you are interested in it.
Yes.
Like, moving into architecture, if you want to be an engineer, then you sort of get guided along to the things that most interest you, and that makes sense.
Yes.
But why should I be punished when 1% of people become engineers? Why the fuck am I learning that shit? It is weird. I don't know.
But then I come out and I can't even, first 4 years of being in this industry, I couldn't even do my taxes properly.
No,
I don't know
exactly right.
anything.
Exactly. Taxes, budgeting, any kind of life skills that should be taught, but they don't want you to know that shit. They want you to be useless.
And this is the Rockefellers.
And debt.
Yeah.
That's where it goes back.
How to make
Bastards.
love, that sort of thing.
They shouldn't teach that at school, Jace.
Depends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean,
Study group.
we're just going quiet? Is that what we're doing there? We're just,
Yeah.
Well, you sort of you opened up a shock there, Keith.
I did.
You went a bit weird
Well,
on
no,
it.
Jace, you did.
It's very easy to blame Jace.
I reckon Mogi did it. It's so weird like that. Hey, listen to the Hauraki Big Show 4 till 7 every weekday. It's really good. And has a lot of chat that's the complete opposite of that chat we just had now.
It does.
Yeah.
Do.